and see you there.
Hey, unless you've been living under a rock lately, you're aware that Dune 2 Electric Boogaloo just came out and is all the rage because it was so awesome. And as a big fan of Dune, and as someone that my husband pointed out has a passing resemblance to Rebecca Ferguson, I really wanted to become Lady Jessica at the end of Dune with the full headdress that has like the chains across the face and then like the robes. It's a lot, but I think I'm up for the task. I ordered a bunch of fabric, which is actually technically curtains because it's cheaper, and I was able to find the length and the color and the texture I was looking for. Because it's not here yet, I'm gonna go ahead and start with using my Cricut to make a stencil for the face tattoos. And then I'm also gonna use the Cricut for making some heat transfer vinyl for this part of the adornment on the robe. Okay, yeah, so this is a hell of a task, so let's get started already. Okay, so my original plan was to take images from the movie of the script on the headdress and the face, and then put it into Photoshop, do some magic, and then take it over to Cricut and cut it from there. But I realized I could look online for a font that somebody has created that has all those symbols and characters, so that would save me a lot of time and a lot of work, so I'm gonna do that now. Alrighty, so after fighting with the font, because when you add certain characters, it like changes them like a real font, which is cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of do them randomly. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to get the gist. Later on, I can always go back and edit that part of it, but I just wanna go ahead and get this done. So I messed with it a little bit to make it more stencil friendly, so it involves like making the text a bit fatter. The motif on the headdress, I literally just took a high-res photo or image of the garment itself and then messed with it in Photoshop so that I just got like a black and white image. And because it's a bit more detailed than a heat transfer vinyl would be good for, I'm just gonna do another stencil with that as well. And then I have some gold screen printing ink that I'll like sponge that onto it to give it more of an accurate look, but also it'll make it so much easier than having to like weed all the vinyl. If you've ever done that, you know how awful it is. Okay, so next step is going to be starting on the garment and the jewelry, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. So see you then. Today is the day that we begin in earnest on making this whole drapey garment. So I'm gonna start with the under portion, and it looks pretty simple except for it being like pleated, like just down the front. I'm gonna make like a simple shift with a big old pleat. And I'm gonna start by measuring myself, adjusting my dress form, and then just draping, I guess. This is gonna be a huge endeavor, so let's go. Well, there are a few things more humbling than measuring yourself and then seeing yourself in 3D, but you know, I digress. So the inner layer is gonna be made out of this like gold sateen, or I don't know, some kind of polyester blend. Basically, it's just a really simple shift, and then there's like a pleated panel that goes down the front. The panel does have some embroidery details on it, as far as I can tell, but they're very subtle, so I'm not gonna go ahead and tackle that now because I don't have an embroidery machine, and whatever. We can figure out later if we wanna add that. Okay, so it looks like the larger panel goes like this, like right in the middle of both boobies. And then the other one is like maybe 4 inches down the middle. So I think what I'll do is make 2 separate panels, and they actually don't look connected in this. Yeah, just like 2 long rectangles basically. So I'm just gonna sew these in there and then on to the next step. Okay, so this is what we're working with for the outer portion. Also, curtain material, because it was literally exactly what I was looking for. Outer portion is gonna be like this. I might not have to really do anything, but just kind of wear this over my shoulders. I don't know, it's kind of perfect the way it is. I don't know how easy it will be to keep it on my shoulders, but I can always like tack it at the back of the dress or like pin it if I need to. And then the top portion is gonna go on the hat thing that I'm about to make. And it looks like it's just a circle like folded over. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the hat then. Okay, so as far as the weird little hat situation goes, I've got this cardboard bucket from some of my kids' toys that I shall place atop my head. And then I'm gonna cut off a portion in the front because it needs to be flat, and then just add some like really sturdy cardboard to that flat portion. Trying to figure out how I need to cut, or how I'm gonna cut this. I could always use a jigsaw, but no, I'll use a box cutter. And then I need to spray paint it to give it like a solid base, because it's gonna be covered in a kind of chiffon-ish fabric. I'm sorry, I'm not great with my types of fabric. I guess I'm gonna hot glue it together. I have more substantial adhesives, but you know, go with what you know. My hope is that once I cut it, it'll kind of expand a little bit so I can like push it down on my head. If that doesn't work, I have a plan to use foam or something. God, I keep almost really cutting myself. I don't have a great history of box cutters, so hey, let's see how this goes. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's exactly what I needed it to do. Okay, and then the bottom section's got a bit of an arch to it. Now just to see if the glue gun is ready, and then slap her on. This doesn't seem big enough for my head, because it's not. Damn it. Okay, this needs to go a bit wider. Why isn't this working? I guess because my forehead protrudes out from the cylinder, right? How am I gonna fix this? Okay, I'm gonna cut down the back because the back's not gonna be seen anyway. We've got a hat. I don't know if it's gonna look right. This part is like pretty covered up by like the fabric, just like water falling down, so I think it'll be fine. The reason I didn't wanna do foam is because I needed something really sturdy that would hold up to that really heavy fabric. I think this is gonna work. Okay, I'm just gonna go spray paint it and then on to the next steps. I just tallied up how many things I still have left, and it's a lot. So what I'm gonna do now is use the Cricut to make the stencils that I need, and then make the polymer clay beads that are gonna be at the bottom of the necklace. So I guess I haven't mentioned the jewelry yet. The necklace is a lot of like gold seed beads that I have, and then it's on like a kind of picket fence looking thing that I'm gonna be fabricating with various things. You'll see the seed beads fall down into like these larger beads that I'm gonna make out of polymer clay and then paint the like gold brass color. So yeah, Cricut, polymer clay. The Cricut is cricketing, in case you can't hear it. And I'm gonna do a bunch of little polymer clay beads. There's like 10 that are circles with like kind of a grid pattern on them, and then maybe 8 like teardrop ones that have some sort of motif on them. I'm not really gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna kind of like mimic it in a way, and then bake them and spray them. to school, kiddos. It's crazy hat day. Gonna start by covering this hat thing with this fabric, also a curtain. I just need to kind of cut it to shape and hot glue it on. Now, what I'm seeing right now is that like one layer is gonna be too see-through, so I might have to double it up. We'll see. I need to look at the reference pics again. And then after that, I have to make like a drapey situation around the front. I wish I knew all the terms for this. I just really don't. And then on top of that, there's like a brass plate, which I got this like roll of brass-ish metal, and I'm hoping that I can just like Dremel into it the design that it has. If I can't, I do have a backup plan, but hoping that'll work out. Okay, let's get to covering. Voila. So this next part is going to be incredibly difficult without having some extra arms. So basically, we've taken this guy and draping over to kind of eyeball how much I'm going to need. It looks kind of like a circle that's been like folded taco style. Yeah, I think that'll do. But attaching this, might try and like use embroidery thread to like sew through the cardboard so that it stays, because this is so heavy and this is like not that stable on me. I kind of rigged a weird little like tie in the back to where I can kind of secure it under my bun, but I don't know how well that's gonna hold up underneath the weight of this thing. But I also have half of a very sad mannequin I could maybe use as a stand-in. She lost the base, so I can't stand her up anymore. Otherwise, that would have been a great way to work on this whole thing. But, you know, c'est la vie. So this is what I'm needing. And I think it's probably, I'm going to try to do is make the biggest circle I can with this fabric, because the whole thing is pretty long. Yeah. Okay, so it's essentially like this, but I'm running into a problem in that my fabric is not double-sided like the one in the reference. So what I think I might do is just like cut along this edge, flip it, so that when I fold it over, they'll both be facing out. So yeah, more work. Yay. Well, I'm being cautiously optimistic, but I think that was a bit of a success. I don't know, we'll see how it ends up looking. My sewing machine decided to be a little brat, and I had a lot of issues with it. I think it's time for a new one. I've literally had that sewing machine since I became an adult, so half my life, basically. Okay, so now I need to bring in this motif with some screen printing ink that I awesomely already had. It's gonna be a lot more opaque than just acrylic paint. I need to do it along the edges, and it's really just this pattern repeating. I think I'm gonna try to apply it with these little stencil brushes and hope for the best. Well, the last step before attaching this part to the hat is sewing on little bits of chain around 6 inches apart along the edge. Welcome back. So today is the very last step, and it's going to be the bib necklace and the chains that go on the hat. It's going to be kind of chaotic, so I'm going to go ahead and try to explain what I'm doing now. So for the major part of the necklace, I got this cheap beaded necklace on Amazon. It was like a turquoise blue, and I spray painted it to be like a brassy gold. And that's going to be the major part. But then there's also this that I'm modifying. I'm going to cut off the chains to like here-ish, or the longest part of this guy, and attach those polymer clay beads that I made earlier. For this section, my original plan was to rivet pieces of this tin sheet metal in sections like her necklaces, but I can't get holes through this metal. It's like just way too thick. But I can get holes in the sheet metal. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut those pieces out, rivet it, and then attach it to here with glue, because it's not like a structural piece, it's just decorative, so I think it'll be fine. And then once that's done, put this on top of it. Then for the chains, I have this. It's actually a body chain, but it's the correct width, it's the correct number of chains, and it like gathers in one place. So it's gonna be perfect for just like laying right here under a piece of metal that's going to go on the hat, and then it'll drape across. And I haven't decided how I'm going to put it together in the back. I'm going to just kind of like figure that out when I get to it. Okay, jewelry time. Okay, it's time to transform. I've got my stencil here for the face tats, and I'm hoping that I can just use like a stencil brush and like put it on pretty easily. So the coloring is tricky. It looks like a tattoo in that it's not like a pure black. There's kind of like a greenish blue tinge to it. So I'm gonna try to like mix that up as I go. Yeah, just hoping it's gonna work. Okay. Okay, what a great start. It looks awesome. Okay, it's exactly what I needed. Cool. Okay. Okay, it turned out so good. The hat was a pain in the ass. If you can't tell, it's just been like digging into my head, so I had to take that off. If I plan on wearing this to a con, then I'm gonna have to figure out something to make that way more comfortable, maybe some padding on the inside or something. It's just super heavy, so. And then also something I would work on a little bit is the face tattoos. They turn out a little larger than I wanted them, but that's an easy fix. And then maybe adding some of the like detail that's on this part, but you can't really see it that well, especially in a lot of the movie. It's kind of dark and like there's not a ton of close-ups on anything but her face. So I think it turned out awesome, and I'm so excited that I finally did something that I'm really proud of cosplay-wise. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Come and join me on Instagram. I post a lot of memes and stuff on my stories. Not super active with posting my art and everything, but that's just because I don't know what I'm doing on there. But yeah, so I'll see you next time.